So, as I shared in my last personal share, I think I called it something practical mystic, where I was saying that I needed to come off the mountain, that I was being too ordinary human, and then being too in the transcendental space, and that I think I said in that video that I am forcing myself, and that I really wanted to take this Star Pearl course, right? And get back into systems to try to merge these two aspects of my life and myself into, well, a more practical, mystic kind of way. Um, and so I'm going to just sort of document and share my journey start with the Star Pearl. And first of all, I think Richard Rudd and the Gene Keys group, the people who are working at Gene Keys, have put together a phenomenal system as far as systems goes. Now, I have to say that in the many years I've been on YouTube, my little videos, I've always been kind of like, no to systems, that they're a distraction. This is, yeah. But I am forcing myself to go back into the system. And I will say, I mean, the Gene Keys is beautiful and it's very helpful for people. This is the insight that came again to me, or when I asked the universe about systems, very helpful for people at certain stages, but can also be, but ultimately a huge distraction. And that's kind of the realization I came back to again. Even though this Star Pearl system is gorgeous, congratulations, Richard and the team. You have done a fabulous job. I mean, my little brain can't put together how you guys did this. Particularly, they have the ability for people to take assessments of themselves, right? And when you're done with the assessment, it prints out what your action triangle should be, what you should be working on. And then I guess this goes into a collective, like, computer. I don't even know what terms to use. And then it shows, all the people taking the Star Pearl course collectively where people are at. Are they in the red zone, the green zone, the blue zone, the purple zone? Who knows? But it's fascinating that they can track this and they can get a kind of a general vibe of where people are at spiritually. Fabulous. So congratulations. It's just brilliant. I highly recommend it. Yeah, so I took my assessment, and my first action triangle is, excuse me, I feel like I'm going to burp. I hope I can refrain. Is the actually the Pearl sequence. Um, so I've been feeling in no, oh, wait, hold on. I don't want to say that just now. So I've been kind of contemplating, of course, and I have been contemplating my vocation. Gene Key 13 is my vocation, which is discord, discernment, and empathy. And this is supposed to be the talent that you came in with, that the Pearl sequence says, hey, this is your natural gift. This is what you can do out into the world to be in harmony with the cosmos and everybody else. And yeah, this is the thing you're here to do. And I was like, oh, yeah, I even gathered a group together and we're all going to study this together. Um, and I brought people together that are not familiar with the Gene Keys. So I'll let you know how their thing turns out. Um, but yeah, for the first week, I was like, yes, empathy. I'm going to be empathy. Let's see, universe. How can I serve? How can I serve? And I know that Richard says, it could take years, right, for this realization to hit you regarding the universe responding to the question, how am I going to use empathy to serve the world, or the gift discernment? And yeah, so about week, couple, 2 weeks or so, I'm like, yes, empathy. I'm going to be empathy, blah, blah, blah. Universe, I'm meditating, give me the answer. And honestly, I have been asking this question from the universe. What am I here to do? What, like, can you show me? Can you download something? Blah, blah, blah. Because I got nothing and I've been asking for years. So if it takes more than a year, I'm thinking something must be wrong because the universe can respond quite quickly, in my opinion. You don't have to wait for a long time. But it's this whole con so I just lost my train of thought. So in my exuberance, right, the ego, I could tell the ego mind is taking control. And even this idea of that it's going to take contemplation. And this is where I kind of feel like, no, this doesn't feel right to me. The act of contemplation with that question, and I know what contemplation is. I've done it my whole life. I'm kind of a pro. I came in contemplating, so I know that it's not a thinking activity. But I could tell here that my mind was taking control of it. But I think a lot of people will have issue with this because trying to think or to ask questions to the universe, how am I going to serve? How do I use this gene key of my vocation to be of service to the world? And what came to me, number one, is I think we could throw contemplation out because to me, that natural gift that you came in with, number one, you've been doing it your whole life. All right. So you're already doing it. Do you need to quote unquote make a business out of it? Do you need to ask the universe how you're to serve when you've already been serving since you were born? Because that's your natural gift, your natural frequency, even though you have the shadow and maybe you were in the shadow, but I think even when we're in the shadow, we also are simultaneously in the gift. I think they're one and the same. And so I know I'm all over the place because I haven't really thought about how I'm going to say this, but that thing, that feeling that natural gift that we came in with, it is not a contemplation. It's a feeling. It's not a thinking thing. It's a feeling thing. And my thing, how I would kind of my discernment, which is my gift there of this gene key, my discernment of the star pearl regarding the vocation is if you want if you want the universe to ask you quickly, then instead of contemplating the city frequency of your gene key, you've got to be you've got to be it and feel it, and then the universe can ask you. So to me, the vocation and the star pearl is a feeling activity rather than a contemplation. Or it's both, but you've got to add the feeling element to it. So you've got to to be empathy, you have to be and feel it before you can become it. Yeah. Because in the questioning of the universe, I think, how am I to serve? Well, it has to have a feeling in it. Even I know I'm repeating myself, but do you kind of get what I'm saying? There has to be a frequency of you already knowing you're it and you're already doing it. So there has to be a feeling element to that question. So that's my little discernment. And then it also really struck me is I'm already doing it. As far as empathy, being able to feel and become the other thing that I'm witnessing, I've been doing that my whole life, particularly with animals and people, and I can feel their stories and I can become them and understand them. And and then it struck me and I thought, because I'm working too hard here. Because I realized in this, okay, someone's gonna in when someone's like, okay, I'm gonna do the pearl sequence and I've got this is my action triangle, they're gonna start efforting. And effort always engages the battle and engages the ego. This your vocation is something you don't even realize you're doing. There should be no effort and there should be no intention or motivation behind it. And I think this is a kind of a slippery slope with this pearl sequence or the star pearl. No, it's the pearl sequence. Um, yeah. Am I making any sense? Do you hear what I'm saying? Yeah, so I've kind of let go of this question like, universe, how am I going to use empathy to serve the world, to start a business or whatever? Because I'm already doing it. I've been doing it my whole life. And to me, it's so I don't have to think about it. It's my natural way. And yeah, and the fact, and here's the thing, Gene Key 13 is all about the gift of discernment is being able to, put all these systems together, and seeing all the symbols and it's like the mythology, understanding the mythology and systems. I forget what, and I was like, oh yeah, and understanding the archetypes of people and blah blah blah. And I was like, oh my God, I've already done that with me connecting the Hebrew letters and the numbers and the gene keys and creating this system. And I, I already did it without knowing that Gene Key 13 was my vocation. But so you're already doing it. Like, I don't I don't know why we have such a tough time recognizing our own true gift to the world. Yeah, I think I went off on a tangent there, but yeah, and I came what and I think this is for me personally, that once again the system is going to be a distraction for me because I was getting over enthusiastic, and that is always a sign of the ego. So I'm going to be very gentle with the star pearl, particularly the pearl sequence, which is my action triangle. And I'm going to step back and say, there's really nothing for me to do. I'm already doing it, but I am going to be more aware and actively feel the feelings of empathy, or because empathy is about being deeply embodied and feeling rather than thinking, right? Feeling your environment. So I'm going to do that. And I think that's all I need to do. I think. I don't know. I think this was a stupid video. But anyway, we'll see if it goes up or not. I'll have to re-listen to it. Bye.